So I'm gonna try to keep this kind of quick, but I've been in Kentucky now for 3 months and like a day or two. But I thought I'd do a little video and update everybody on how I've been and what I've been doing here. So I'll start with this past week because this past week has been really cool and I've been kind of out of my element in what I've been doing this past week. But Sunday, I went to a different county, and one of the bigger programs here at CAP, Christian Appalachian Project, is the housing department. And those are people who go out and help people with their houses and the outside of their houses, inside of their houses, and basically their motto or their mission statement would be to keep houses safe, dry, and warm. So that's their mission, that's their goal when they're working with participants. And every year we have here 3 weeks of WorkFest where college students come down for their spring break and come here to work on housing instead of having a regular spring break. And then 2 weeks of Youth Fest, which is the same exact thing except for high school students. And that's what I did. I helped out with that this past week, and we worked. Youth Fest is actually elderly housing, so it's the same exact thing as housing, except it's for elderly participants. And this past week, I helped put on railings for a porch, and then I also helped make a deck and a ramp, which was super interesting and difficult, but we did it. And it was just really great to see all these high school students coming down for their spring break and just helping out with that and meeting them and getting to do some fellowship with them was really great. And just seeing how we make a difference in the communities was really awesome, as being part of CAP in general, but housing more specifically, how we go around and help people fix their houses so they can be safe, dry, and warm. But besides that, I've been working in a preschool. It's called the Child Development Center, and it's like right down the street from right here where I live. We walk to work, but it's really awesome to work with the kids, which for people who know a lot about me know that it's not something I ever saw myself doing, but when I found myself at CAP and that was one of the options, I definitely wanted to look into it, and I fell in love with it. So I essentially do the same thing that the teacher does, which is crazy because I'm not trained for that, but she's always in the room, so that's why it's okay. But during the week, I have my own small group, so I work with 8 kids, and we do different activities for a small group, and they're preschoolers, so they're learning, and when a kid is that young, it's really easy to track their progress and see how they're making that progress, because once they come into the school, they start not from nowhere, like they're taught things at home, but just like things like writing their name and stuff like that, it improves tremendously throughout the year. And I've seen some of their names written, like I wasn't here for it because I didn't come till January, but I've seen some of their names written, and it was not as great at the beginning of the year as it is now. So working with them and like encouraging them is awesome. It's really important, because with these kids, you never know like if that's something that they're getting at home or not, and hopefully a lot of them are, but it's just something we don't know all the time. So it's really great when you see a kid and they're struggling, they're like, I can't write my name, or because a lot of times you have sheets that like where they trace it, but then you're like, well, write it at the bottom without tracing it, so we can see how you do that. And they'll be like, I can't write it unless I'm tracing it, and you're like, yes, you can. And so you just work on them with them one-on-one, and that's really rewarding because you're just like there guiding them, and sometimes I have to sit down and be like, okay, you wrote this letter here, now write it down here, and we'll have to do it letter by letter. But they get it done. And that's really cool. And I've had like a couple, it's mostly just like I show up to work and I do the same thing. Well, not the same thing, it's different every day, but like we have the same routine, the same schedule every day. And so it's a lot of routine because you're trying to get the kids into a routine and have a healthy routine and get them ready for kindergarten. That's like our main goal. So that's really nice, but I've also like had specific days that have been better or worse. Obviously, like one day I was pooped on, like got my poop on my sweatshirt. I've been bitten once, hit and kicked, but it's worth it, I guess. One of my favorite times is when it was something simple, but like I call them teacher moments because you just feel really proud of these kids, and like I haven't even known them for very long, but you're still proud of them. And we were making green eggs and ham. Like we didn't have ham, but we were just making green eggs. We were making it out of white pudding and like the vanilla wafers that are like this big. So we had white pudding and we had green food dye, and like I let each kid put a drop of green food dye in, and then they would mix it. They were like amazed at how it was changing colors, and I just thought that was really cool because it was a learning moment, teaching moment, and they were genuinely having fun, and that was really cool. My dad is texting me a story, messages, but that was really awesome. I enjoyed that, and I can't wait to have more moments like that. School is actually almost over for the year. I think May 8th is our graduation, so that's sad. I'm gonna miss the kids, and like half of them are graduating, but most of the kids graduating are actually in the other classroom. So I do know them and I ride the bus with them, but it's not my classroom. But then most of my classroom will move to the next classroom, so I'll still see them next year. But this school year is almost over, and it went by really fast. So I'm excited to start next year and really be able to track their progress, I guess, and see them from start to finish or until I leave. But then during the summer, we have a feeding program. Not 100% sure what that means yet, but essentially we'll be cooking food and like packaging it and either bringing it somewhere to be delivered or delivering it ourselves. I will talk more about that when I know more of what it is once we start it, but I'm looking forward to that because I'm looking forward to getting out into the community more. Because with the kids, you can still see the poverty and you can see how you're affecting their lives, but it's harder to see because they're kids. They might not know that they're in poverty. They're happy anyways. It's awesome. But like going around on the bus routes, sometimes you see where those kids live or the communities they live in, and that's eye-opening. And so I'm excited. Like I don't like seeing poverty, obviously, but I'm excited to see more of what our community's like, who we're helping, why they need help. One of the biggest things I've learned since I've been here is that I don't want to say a lot of people could leave and go live somewhere fancier, but a lot of the people here are tied to the land, and it's not like the north as much, or at least where I'm from, where, well, this person grew up here, like my great-great-great-great-grandma owned this house, so someone has to live here. It's not like that where I live, but that's how it is here. So they're more tied to their family and tied to the property that belonged to their ancestors rather than them wanting to have like a richer lifestyle. And obviously these people don't have that much money to begin with, so it might be hard for them to leave in that sense. but there's people here who could probably leave and start off somewhere new to make more money, or like go to a more populated area with more jobs, but they don't because they're tied to here, and that's just how people here see it. And I think even I had a lot of misconceptions about what poverty is and why people are in poverty before I came here. There's a lot of stereotypes out there, and there's a lot of stereotypes about Appalachian area in general and how the people here are. And I don't like to talk about them anymore as much, but a lot of people just like, with poverty in general, people throw around words like lazy or like hillbillies, like anything like that that points to the people not doing enough. And sometimes that is not true at all. Like, I'm sure there's cases where that's why someone's in poverty, but a lot of it isn't that. A lot of it can be like what I said, like they don't want to leave. They feel like they're supposed to be there, like that's how they were raised. They're supposed to stay here. A lot of people are out there with kids working 2 jobs and they're still not making enough money, but the certain types of jobs that are around here don't allow for that. There's several reasons that don't point to laziness or don't point to them not being good enough or them not working hard enough. And this week, actually, I was talking to my crew leader, and he got up in front of everyone and was talking about how everyone tells him like, oh, you worked really hard and you deserve to be where you are and you deserve this amazing life. And he's like, I don't though. I did work hard, but there's other people working hard who don't have what I have, and I don't deserve it any more than anyone else deserves it. And I really like that because it's true. There's people who work harder than, I'm volunteering right now, but I'm living pretty well. CAP provides for us, definitely. I don't feel like I'm being deprived of anything, but there's people out there working 2 jobs, more than 40 hours a week, and still make less than people who are only working whenever they feel like it because they own a business. Like, hard work gets you places, and that's true, but hard work also ends up keeping some people where they are, and just because you're working hard doesn't mean you're not going to be part of poverty. And that's something I've learned here, that we don't deserve anything more than anyone else. And in God's eyes, especially, we're meant to just live our lives the best we can towards Him. And if someone has faith in Him and has faith in being saved and doing good works for the glory of God, it doesn't matter what we have on earth. And that's something I've seen here as well as when I went to Nicaragua, was that people here are happy. Like, there's some people who, like, they don't want the help. Like, it could be embarrassing, and that's understandable, but they're still gracious. They are gracious for everything that we do for them. Any help they get from anyone, they're always smiling. Like, I've been to several different churches since I've been here, and everyone is just happy, and everybody is willing to help, and it's like everyone here is related. Like, they're like willing to help anyone. I'm willing to help any of my family at home, and that's just everybody here. And everyone's just happy with where they are. Like, they don't feel like they need more a lot of the time. They're just gracious, and they're believers, so they are rich in other areas that are more important anyways. So that's really been eye-opening since I've been here. And I've always felt like very blessed, and I've never felt like God hasn't provided for me, but being here has helped me appreciate it even more than I already did. And I think that is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm very excited to move on with my next 9 or so months here. Maybe longer, who knows, I don't know yet. One thing that will be hard for me is leaving in the middle of the school year. I can guarantee that. So at the very least, I might stay until the end of the school year. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And I was going to talk about community a little bit. It's been kind of long, but nobody actually has to watch this. You can turn it off. But I figured some people might want to be updated. So community is good, hard, awesome, hard. I live with 3 other people, which is one of CAP's smaller houses. I guess how CAP works, there's 3 counties where I am that are each about like an hour apart, and then 3 hours away there's 3 other communities or counties that we serve. But there's like this gap in the middle that hopefully someday will be ungapped and filled with CAP activities, programs, but it's not right now. So where I live, there's actually 2 houses, and mine has 4 people in it. The one across the street currently has 6 people, but they have capability of up to 10. Or there's 10 rooms, so I guess if there was a husband and wife staying, it could be more than that, but I think they keep it around 10 or less. Sundays, we have dinners with both of our houses, and we take turns. Like our house is cooking this week, and the other house is doing devotion this week, and then we switch next week. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have dinner within our house, so dinner and Devo, which is really nice because in my house we have 2 people working at the CDC, and then the other 2 people are working in housing. So it's really cool to talk about each other's days, see what's going on in the other programs. And we take we don't take turns doing chores. We all have set chores. Like, I take care of this really disgusting fly problem we have right now, but we're getting new windows, so my job might be obsolete and I'll have to find something else to do. But we all do our own laundry, everything like that, obviously. Keep our rooms clean. Yeah. It's fun. I live with 2 Catholics, and I want to say the other girl is non-denominational. I'm not really positive on that one, but it's really cool to see us all come together and learn from each other and learn why someone might believe something that I don't believe, or what we do agree on, and that's really nice. Especially growing up Catholic, it's been interesting to talk with them, the other 2, and there's been times where like Sam's Devo has been like praying the rosary or something, and that's been really cool. And just learning about everyone else in the house is really awesome. Sam is my bestie in the house. We're really close, and that's awesome because we started at the same time, which means if we both only stay for a year, we'll end at the same time too. So it's really cool to have her here like all the way through. And then I'm really close with girls in the other house too, but unfortunately they'll be leaving in August, so that's really sad. But then we'll have a whole bunch of new people in August, and meeting more people is awesome. So yeah, it's a little bit about the community. I've gone contra dancing, which is weird, crazy that I would do that, but it's fun. If you don't know what it is, you should look it up. It's just like partner dancing. So there's a band or a CD playing, and it's like very bluegrassy, American folksy type of music. And then you grab a partner and you dance with these people you don't know, and it's crazy. But I've done that 3 times. Saw Beauty and the Beast. Like, we do fun things together. Yeah, I'm excited for summer to start because then there will be all these like festivals and stuff we can go to like that. And there's a lot of cool places to hike that we haven't been yet, so it's going to be exciting. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the rest of my year here, and I wanted to give everyone an update. And I think I've talked about pretty much everything, but y'all are also my friends, so if you have any other questions or you want to be updated more frequently or whatever, just message me and be like, hey, what's up? Or mail. Mail is awesome. I love mail, so if you feel the want, hold on. Hey, so that was Courtney telling me I don't have to make dinner tonight, which is great. So we're gonna go to church tonight at this church I've never been to. That's fun. We'll go to church twice today. If Sam comes, she'll go to church 3 times a day because she went to Mass and then came to church with me. But yeah, I'm excited because it's like an hour away, but I heard it's a pretty cool church. But so I don't have to make dinner. That's cool. I need to clean my room. Not that any of you guys care. But yeah, that was Courtney. She's one of the other girls I was talking about. But yeah, that's basically it. I guess the only other thing would be to talk about is like church, which I haven't really found a steady church yet. That's been hard. I found a church that I've been to twice now. I might just stick with that one. I didn't realize, like, I always liked the church that I've been going to at home, but I didn't realize that I'd miss it this much, or that it'd be as hard to find another church that compares, I guess. I definitely miss my church a lot. I surprisingly haven't been very homesick at all, which, like, I thought I was gonna break down the first month or so, especially with, like, when my mom brought me here and then got on the bus to go home. I was, like, full on crying, and this guy was just like, she's like, yeah, she's gonna be here for a year, and he's just like, oh, you'll be okay, sweetie, it's fine. I'm like, I know, but, hindsight, I guess, that was a little over the top, but, like, obviously I miss my family, but, I feel like I'm really where I'm supposed to be, and I feel awesome here, and I feel like I have a family here, so, which is good. I was nervous about being homesick, and at first I was like, why am I not homesick? Am I broken? But I'm not. I love my family, like, and friends. Like, I'd love to see them again, but it's not like this dying, like, urge, and I think that's good and healthy, obviously, that I'm just like, I'm in the right spot right now for my life and where I'm supposed to be right now. But church-wise has been hard, so if you guys are gonna pray for anything, that would be what I would like prayers for. Just finding somewhere. I don't know how many other churches I'm gonna try. I might just go to this one, but I guess just finding a place, or if I stay here, just like being comfortable there and liking it and growing in their community. They're very nice people. Most churches I've been to down here have been very welcoming, and then I don't go back and I feel bad. But this past one is pretty close to what I'm used to, so I might just go there. It's better than the one I went to that was speaking in tongues and whatnot. That wasn't fun. But yes, that's pretty much it. I was gonna make like a 1-month update, but I didn't because I forgot. And now so much has happened, like I can't even talk about it all. But I'm definitely learning a lot about myself here, and I'm keeping kind of a journal. I've been trying to keep a journal that someone gave me for Christmas, and I've been writing in it for sure. Just not as often as I'd like, but I'm definitely learning a lot about myself and a lot about this area and poverty in general, and I'm very excited and definitely growing in my faith, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to come here. So that's awesome. It's a good feeling. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, have a good day, and if you watch this whole thing, thank you, and I appreciate everyone's support in me coming here and genuine interest in what I'm doing, and I love you all. I'm assuming most people that watch this I'm just gonna assume that, but I love everyone anyways. But I'm really excited to see my family again, and I will most definitely be home for a week in the summer. So be looking forward to that if you want to see me. But I'll definitely be at my grandpa's a lot and visiting everyone, and I'm sure I'll have more stories by then. So thank you, and I miss you all, and bye.